Welcome to the May demo day, everyone. I hand off to Christian. He's going to get us going.
So one of the big things that we've talked about that we've been implementing is custom fields for every customer. And so one way we've been thinking about doing it is for just the more singular custom fields, we're going to be adding them into this dropdown. And so these are all of their custom fields. So their AM Fright, transaction type, inventory date, their bill of lading prices, and as well as their EDI process. But one of the more interesting pieces is their AM price, which is part of their line items. So what we're doing here is we're using the FDIC to sort of drive where sort of certain pieces go. So if it's part of a data table or it's associated with the line items, we're going to sort of tackle it on at the end. But if it's more singular, it's just kind of a one-off field, we're going to be just placing it in this custom fields dropdown. One thing Vern and I have talked about is updating FDIC to have metadata that tells us what kind of field it is. Currently, we're using the conversion type to drive whether or not it's a date field or a time. But in the future, we're going to be able to check if it's a drop down, if it's a checkbox, or if it's just a regular text item. But sort of that's the direction we're sort of going in, and we've sort of laid out the logic, so we'll be able to add these in pretty quickly into all the other modules. But that's sort of the big thing that we've been working on, or one of them.
Yeah, thank you. And so, like, the other thing I'd add to, right, at there's kind of three different view levels to custom fields. He's got two of them here. One, which is you're at the form level, like the order form, and you've got custom attributes in the SO object. And so they get represented as this in this additional custom field section within the order form. There's that aspect of it. And then he called out the other aspect here. You've got custom fields that are linked into existing multi-value data structures, existing tabular data, right? Like the line items, AM price and line items. And so he's illustrating how those get joined into and basically appended at the end of the existing data set, right? So all that stuff kind of flows in there. If you think about the customers module for a second, now we have the tabbed interface for all of the sections within the customers module, right? Starts with general, ship to addresses, contacts, contact logs, so on, orders, so on and so forth through all that stuff. Tabular data at that level in that interface, the presentation of it there will just be a new tab at the end of that list of tabs. And that horizontal tab interface called custom fields, then you see the same stuff dropped in there. So what he's got here, we're really excited about because it had been the theory for a while on how we would approach this stuff. We're very excited about this. Kudos, Christian.
Thank you.
All right, Shoshana, you're up.
Yes, I'm up. So I'm going to be showing a little bit of the point of sale module. So here is the kind of start off screen. You've got to enter which register you're at, and it will tell us if it's open or closed. If it's open, then we'll go ahead. If not, it will prompt us for an amount to open the cash register with. Now, this is pretty cool because we can enter a customer ID, we can enter an invoice, and we can enter an order. And all of those will give us back the customer and whichever invoice or order that we entered. So here I'm entering an invoice. And I will go ahead and add that invoice to my order summary. And it will also load up the invoices that are outstanding for that customer here on the left. It's not really a true point of sale system. It's kind of, it's basically the ability to go through the regular order flow in one place. So we can, if we go to our open orders, we can finalize an order. Which is the equivalent of Rover's ship.e, basically, which turns it into an invoice. And then when we go over here to invoices, we're just paying that invoice. It's not a true point of sale in that, everything kind of happens in one step where you add the part and then you pay for it, like So in that way, it's a little different. Another thing we can do here is update the invoice amount. And then we can go continue on to payment. We can do our manual entry, which will show us the regular iframe thing that we're used to. We could choose a card on file. This customer doesn't have any cards on file, but if you selected a card, you can then submit the payment. And if you click credit card, it will connect to a Bolt device, grab the credit card information, and make the payment. So that's kind of the life cycle here for POS.
All right. Thanks, Shoshana. Ricardo, welcome to the monthly demo day. I'd love to have you share your screen here and show off what you've been working on the sales side around the Kanban boards.
Let me show what we did here in the sales view. We've made a couple of changes here in the table. Like for example, the status. But the main change is here with the Kanban view. So here we can see the sales and or order by the status. We can see, for example, who is assigned it to, and we can edit them if we click on them, and we can move them to change the status of these items. And also we will be able to filter them here.
There's some excuse me, some nuance to the little user profile icon there too. So not only can you see who it's assigned to when you hover it, but if it's assigned to you, it has the little blue highlighting to it, right? So you know, for the sales reps, you'll be able to call this board up, see everything, but hopefully quickly visually ascertain which ones are yours. And then if there's no assignee, you don't see that icon at all. So the ones with the user, you know, they're assigned. If something didn't have an assignee or a rep, and this carries through into the quotes and orders sections too, that ends up being a little bit of a pop. To help you figure out, you know, who's got what and where it's at. All right, thank you, Ricardo.